explain the funny thing about this, but maybe I'll do it in the episode. So that could be kind of fun.
Okay.
um,
Yeah, sorry I just delayed a little bit. I was not ready. I all my shit is just somehow very complicated to get set up, and I don't know what else to do about it.
your stuff is shit.
It's like I have to put the Connect in a place, and I have to turn on some lights and off some other lights, and then I have to turn on three programs and plug three things into each other.
I was just trying to suggest the George Carlin idea that my stuff is stuff, but your stuff is shit.
Yeah, probably.
What's all
I
this
know
shit
where
doing
your
around here?
I know where your fucking shit window went, man. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Shit, no.
Shit window from
Doesn't make
Alfred
sense.
Hitchcock. It's just the guy in a wheelchair being like, God, there's so much shit on this window. He's
Couldn't
like
see out
watching
it,
a guy taking a shit out of the window.
but his window's also covered in shit, so it's like really murky.
He's like, wait a minute.
Is that guy shitting outside my window? I can't check because I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Oh my
Okay,
God.
that could be a good one. Okay, I guess we'll do this. I probably have slightly less time than usual, but that's fine.
Okay, I'll try not to meander too much.
I mean, the podcast will be the normal length. I'm just talking about the all
Oh, the chat.
the normal
Gotcha.
bullshitting. I may need to slim the art down somewhat.
Word. I got a ton of shit I need to do. So
Okay,
do
what's
not worry. Yeah.
okay. Hello. It's a prison in prison. It's an The Prisoner podcast. Hi, I'm Matt. There is Mark.
Here is Mark.
Mark's gonna chime in a bit today about today's episode, the chimes of Big Ben. You're like, is this the next one? I didn't actually check, and then I watched it on YouTube instead of my DVD. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I checked the numbers. So
Okay.
like if we have to switch, if this is the wrong order, you have to go and dub in someone saying like Dutch DVD order or whatever it is. You just
Well, it's not.
dub in fifth episode.
We don't say which episode it is anyway. So.
Well, this is the fifth episode.
Oh, now you've done it. Okay.
Well, you have to dub over it if I messed up. So there
Oh,
you
you've
go.
done it right. Okay.
You're
Tell
trapped
us.
forever in the editing village.
Tell us the trivia on this episode.
All right. Don Chaffee returns to direct for the fourth and final time. After this, he will move on to direct episodes of TV series such as Man in a Suitcase and the film A Twist of Sand. This was actually the first episode broadcast after the pilot in both the UK and the US, as in the second episode total.
But
But it
here
was
we
the
are.
fifth episode produced. This episode is written by Vincent Tilsey. He will be back to write one more episode of The Prisoner after this much hated episode. Tilsey wrote for many other TV series, penning episodes for series like Man in a Suitcase
Ooh,
and
again.
Diamond Crack Diamond.
I thought this episode was Man in a Suitcase.
I just try to repeat. A lot of these people just worked on the same stuff.
They were
And I figure
friends.
if I repeat things,
Super
then it'll
friends.
be a lot trippier and weirder. Anyway, we have our first recurring actor, basically, or second recurring actor, third butler. Peter Swanwick returns as the supervisor, aka the controller, that bald guy you see in the control room. He previously appeared in the pilot. He's one of very few recurring actors on this show. He'll be back for 6 more episodes after this. This was one of his last roles as he died in 1968, and it's probably the one he's most well known for. Previously, he starred in productions such as You Pay Your Money and Carve Her Name with Pride.
No, you pay your money.
No, You Pay Your Money.
Mm.
That's probably what the movie is. It's just two people yelling that at each other. This number 2 is played by Leo McKern, an Australian actor who mostly took TV roles. He starred in Confess Killer and the Running, Jumping, and Standing Still film. Notably, he'll be the the first number 2 that will eventually recur in future episodes, and those will be the last 2 episodes. So we will be seeing him again. The role of Nadia Rakovsky, aka number 8, is played by Nadia Gray, who was born Nadia Kujnir Herescu in Romania. I said too many words and it made me mess up Romania. She fled Romania with her fighter pilot husband in the late 40s during the communist takeover and settled in Spain, and was primarily an actress in theatrical films such as Wife for a Night and I Like Money, and also La Dolce Vita.
Were
Her
her
role in the
characters in those films also Nadia?
probably there was at least one. I think she's Nadia in La Dolce Vita, actually.
Like
Her
she
role in
couldn't,
the
but she wouldn't respond if you called her by any other name. She's like, "What? I
I'm
don't
gonna
get what you're trying to do."
I'm gonna say her grasp on the English language, since this is her last role listed in IMDb. I don't know if she ever really picked up the whole English thing.
Right.
But anyway, her role in The Prisoner was her last major acting role. I just said that. She retired from films, remarried, and settled in America and began headlining as a singing cabaret star. She died in Manhattan in 1994. Finlay Curry plays the general. He was a veteran actor of both TV and film, having acted previously in Mr. Cinders and I Know Where I'm Going. He had a few more roles until his death, which was also in 1968.
I could keep responding to these film titles, but I'm really like trying to just hold myself.
I'm daring you to respond to them. Kevin Stoney appears as Colonel J. He was a
Test
veteran.
killer.
I did it. He was a veteran, mostly TV actor who would continue to have a long career after this. He would appear later in Special Branch and When the Boat Comes In. And finally, Richard Wattis plays the role of Fotheringay. He was in Mr. Lord Says No, Norman Conquest, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Is
Most
that it?
relevant, most relevant to this show, though, he was in Danger Man, playing Patrick McGowan's contact.
It's funny you're talking about repetition. You were finished, right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That's why I said finally before that last name that I said, which is the
see,
last one.
I picked up on your subconscious clue then. Okay, cool.
Yeah, subconscious.
Right. So I was watching this last night. Like I told you, I was watching on YouTube because I'm lazy and didn't want to grab the discs from the other side of the room. And I stopped it and put it back on this morning, but somehow it was like showing the pilot. Like it was like 20, like it was the same amount of time in, but it had changed videos to the pilot. So Arrival. So I just want to read my notes from that part. First, I'm just talking about Rover again, but it's probably Rover's kind of cute. I'm like, wasn't this beach chase in last week's episode and the one before that? Maybe it's a statement on the repetition of series television. Hey, this is totally the MK Ultra Hospital. More repetition.
I mean, he did just leave inside of a box on a boat instead of in a boat. You know, it's not. We didn't exactly reinvent the wheel here.
He was on a boat those times, so there was some repetition. But I think
you don't get it. He was in a box.
I think I watched a good 5 minutes and I was like, "Gee, I feel like they've done this before." And this is the pilot. So,
there is one. I also watched it on YouTube, and there's one version on YouTube where the video just freezes and then the subtitles play out for the rest of it.
oh, that's exciting. Okay,
Yeah, didn't work.
Get your own, get your own set. Don't trust YouTube unless your own set's on the other side of the room and therefore inaccessible.
Well, I found another version on YouTube that was sped up to dodge copyright.
Yeah. I'd have to
So like the
stand up
legal
and
version.
take like 2 steps to get it. Here is
Yeah.
the plot for the Chimes of Big Ben. It's arts and crafts time at the village, but first, number 6 has a new neighbor. It's number 8, or Nadia if you're nasty. Nadia has number 6's rebellious streak and makes her own failed escape from the island, but she's knowledgeable, especially in regards to the location of the village. Number 6 enters that aforementioned arts and crafts contest, wins, buys another work of art with his prize. Then he and Nadia build a boat with it and sail off. They meet Nadia's contact on a beach, who stuffs them into a box and ships them to London. Number 6 has a confrontational meeting with his old boss, but the clocks are off. and it's all a show. This is not London. It's just a facsimile of his boss's office in the village. Nadia's only purpose was to facilitate this situation happening. Okay, that's the plot. I'm done with the
That's the
plot.
plot. You're done with the plot.
Yeah, I guess I
So
think this
like I want to know, did you also, when he figured out the thing with the clock, did you have to like pause and rewind and be like, wait a minute, and
I,
work through how that worked? Or did you just take him at his word? Or did you understand exactly what he was talking about the whole time? Because I
I
was kind of thrown by it.
I took him at his word. I assumed if I went back and thought about it, it would make sense, but I couldn't be bothered to do that.
Yeah, that's sort of what I did. I think I paused it once and was just like, wait, okay.
Maybe you have to be familiar with London traffic patterns to really get it.
I think metric time is like what, 100 minutes in an hour?
Yeah, I think that's right. And then like 10 quatlus in a second or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in Japan so long. It's like all I can think now is the metric time, you know? I can't even remember how you tell time. I can't tell time anymore.
Yeah, imagine multiples of six. Like, why?
That's so satanic if you do it three times.
Yeah, it's 3 hours, the length of a satanic
300 minutes.
ritual.
I think this is my favorite number two so far. He's just kind of
I
jolly. I guess that's
agree.
why he comes back.
Maybe so. I mean, he was just having so much fun and kind of yelling a lot, and he fit into one of those little like futuristic dome chairs that that is obviously too small for him, but he just fit in there anyway. I mean, he was delightful.
I think he was more like a Batman villain than say the other ones,
Yeah, maybe.
especially with the arts and crafts show, which was the highlight of this episode with all the number two art.
I think it's just sort of a thing where he just kept it going so much. He kept commenting on number six being funny, and it's like just the kind of thing that a kind of a crappy boss would do, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that was the other reason I got hoodwinked by. See, I got mind blown village style by watching the first one again for 5 minutes because then because
It,
then
it abducted you to the first episode.
it did because then he gets back and then there's like I'm the new number two. I was like, oh, that's too bad. We didn't finish out with the other guy who we did finish out with, but yeah.
Mm.
See that
Well, we
you
will
know
finish out with him though, won't we?
a cool way to watch The Prisoner would just be to like take all the scenes, like chop them up, put them in a blender, like of all the episodes, and see what you get.
God, there has to be someone who's done that. That's
If
that's just crazy. That would just be like
That'd be like the best
crazy.
art film ever.
I mean, it probably wouldn't be terribly hard to like make video files out of just individual scenes since you have those clear cuts for the commercials and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not the person to do that, but yeah, it does sound like an
No, now
interesting
you
endeavor
have to.
for someone who's like OCD enough.
Now you have to. You've said it.
No, I'm just the progenitor of the idea.
You found your you found your gateway to become an influencer, and that's it.
No, no, that's where the Steve Jobs or the Thomas Edison comes in. They don't come up with the initial idea, right? They just
You
do
need a
stuff
name for
later.
it.
They steal
A
it.
catchy name for it. You call it the chain gang order. Get it? You're like trapped, and it's a chain and this bunch of links that are random. It's a chain gang order.
Okay, sure. It sounds like you have a lot more stock in this now than I do, so I'm passing the. You can run with that. Um,
Yeah, I'll put it on the pile of things I probably won't do, but might.
it's one. I guess one thing that's fun about the show, especially as you start piling on the episodes, is never quite being able to figure out what's going on in number six's head, which of course is what's driving everyone else crazy too, right? So,
Mhm.
like, I at this point I'm like, well, I'm assuming he probably doesn't trust Nadia from the get go and just doesn't have much else to do.
Yeah, he's like an angry tease. I don't know what to call that.
Like, am I giving him too much benefit of the doubt? Is kind of just being like, I know I'm gonna get shafted at the end. That's why he works all the time thing. He was just waiting for it.
Well,
Even
yeah, he's
after,
always he looks like he always wants to like wink at the camera, but never does. It's like I do feel like he's sort of like, but it's also you have to remember that he pitched and developed the show himself as a vehicle for him. So yeah, he probably doesn't know what he's doing. I mean the actor that is.
Oh, sure that the actor, but I'm trying to talk like character wise.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost the same. Like, can you divorce Patrick McGowan from number six? Is like, or is that just supposed to be him? Because he doesn't have a name, right? Maybe his name is Patrick McGowan.
He has a name. He doesn't have a number. That's what.
What is his name though?
Oh, they don't say his name. He
It's
doesn't say
Patrick
his name.
McGowan. That's what it is. It's him.
That's
He's the
why it's
guy. I solved the mystery. We can end this podcast now.
all right. Thanks
Solve the
for listening.
mystery. It's a documentary. First season of Survivor.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I never saw
Is there?
Survivor. I
Me
still,
neither.
I still think I can claim that I haven't seen a reality show.
I watched some of what was the Surreal Life, I
I don't know. I
guess.
haven't seen it.
That was just like Flavor Flav and like um Gary Coleman. I don't know. Some people were in it.
Oh,
Some
this
people
is
were in
fun.
it who are like D-list celebrities intentionally.
Yeah, I was at work. This was at work a few years ago. Actually, I was saying something about Flavor Flav rapping, and someone else was like, "What? Flavor Flav was in a band?" It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's whose fault that is that he has that perception is 100% Flavor Flav's fault.
Paul McCartney, he's that guy in Wings, right?
Do you remember when Flavor Flav like took um like 15 or 20 years to make a solo record
Did
and
he?
then it just wasn't good?
Was it better in Chinese Democracy by Guns N'
I
Roses?
haven't seen it. I mean, heard it. I'm sorry. I haven't heard Chinese Democracy. Um so I guess Flavor
just
Flav's solo album 2006.
just
Think about that.
imagine faceless corporate rock with like a raspy axle screeching over it.
That's like wasn't it isn't it something like weirdly prog?
I don't know. I actually did hear it, but it's
See, you
been
see,
a
you
long
don't know.
time.
You
Well, I heard,
haven't listened to it. I don't believe anybody has.
no, actually, it might be true. They just wanted the Dr. Pepper. Wasn't it
Yeah.
you got a Dr. Pepper or something?
Yeah, I think they were it was like if it ever comes out, everyone on Earth gets a free Dr. Pepper.
Did you get your Dr. Pepper?
I think I did actually. I think I did.
And you have Axl
Yes.
Rose to thank for that. Okay.
Thank you, Axl Rose.
um, where I probably get back to the prisoner here. Oh yeah, I was thinking when he makes a speech, it would have been cool if he kind of did the Independence Day speech instead.
Yeah.
That would
Sure,
have
why
been cool.
not?
I I feel I guess this is on all the episodes, but I was just watching this one particularly. Were there more announcements in the village than usual in this episode?
I don't think there were more than like the chess episode.
Okay, yeah, I just started to feel like this is like a polite BBC version of MASH or something.
Mm. I feel like I think maybe there was more polite conversation than usual, or maybe I'm just getting a little bit tired of number six hanging out and number two coming up, rolling up and talking to him. And that one scene has happened in every single episode, I think.
Number two doesn't have anything else to do. What else is number two
I
gonna
mean,
do?
if you're the number two, you should probably be really busy making a society work or something. I don't know.
That's
Passing
not
laws,
that's not number two's job.
just
They elect
meeting,
people to make laws. Remember, they have
like
elections.
experimenting on criminals, experimenting on innocent people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's yeah.
Oh,
Oh, here I got some real horror because I've always been like, I don't know. I mean, could you live in the village? Seems chill, right? But then they're like, oh, the whiskey's non-alcoholic. I was like, ooh,
and it costs credits. Have we learned about credits yet? I feel like we kind of haven't.
no,
Wasn't
I
it
don't.
sort of everything free before?
Well, I guess yeah. This is how the UBI goes, I guess.
Maybe it's something like they reset him this time and they
You
decided to
Did I say that
Let's
right?
try credits. UBI?
UBI,
Yeah, you
Universal.
didn't say UTI. Don't worry.
What's the B stand for? Basic income.
Basic.
Okay. Sorry, I said it and I was like, was that actually correct?
It is correct, and it's the only way for a society to survive. Anyway, um, I forgot what I was saying. I've got my train of thought. Is just I tried to quickly change the subject, and it made my brain crash, and I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, more brainwashing. Balls, balls screaming, balls getting people, swimmers.
Right. Yes.
Hmm
Oh, and they have the little tiny rovers.
Tiny, yeah, that was fun. They were all like carrying her around.
Yeah, yeah. So
You
tiny
think
rover is
that
pretty cute. I still
you
can't. I
think they
can't.
were excited to carry like a lady around in a
Yes,
bikini?
of course they were. That's why they were balls. Um, I'm thinking at this point if number six is a bit of kind of a Stone Age MacGyver, because in this
Mm.
one he builds a tomahawk in like 20 seconds, and they build that boat like in about 1 minute, it seems.
So, do you think that Nadia was under their control before she tried to escape?
Yes.
You think so? And was that part of the thing? Do you think that she had to try to escape and then because she was going through the whole uh that whole suicide watch thing.
Well, I mean, at this point, doesn't even matter which point she sells out. She could have sold out before she came to the village. She could have sold out after she's tried to escape. It doesn't really matter.
No, not really. Well, but it doesn't, but also it does. It's kind of
Like,
like, what is the story we just watched?
well, let's say it happened after she escaped, and number six,
Yeah.
like even before, he's like maybe he's like, oh, I can trust you at this point, but probably not. I still need to be ready not to or something.
It
Like,
seems like he's has a real problem trusting people who have already been abducted and experimented on. That seems to be something that that's like his gambling problem.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. Don't I mean honestly at this episode, like it's almost like he doesn't do that much screaming, except you know, I mean, there's a few. He's got to scream a bit, but in general, he's kind of just going with the flow in this
Ah!
episode.
Yeah, he screams, "Niet, niet."
Yeah,
Uh, uh, anyway, so there's a piece of trivia I left off the trivia. Did you know that scene where Nadia comes over to his house and they're kind of like getting real close, almost dancing, and you don't see her face for a while and you just see the back of someone's head?
yeah. Who's that then?
Patrick McGowan's daughter.
Oh, okay, that's
He
slightly
had her stand
creepy.
in so it didn't get romantic.
That's okay. I guess that's
it,
the method you could take.
reading that before I saw the episode, it was incredibly obvious.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I didn't see that beforehand, so yeah.
Well, there are a couple of other things where someone talks and someone else's voice comes out, but that was the weird
But
one. Anyway,
I still wrote the note is Patrick into redheads question mark. So maybe it didn't quite
yeah,
work. I don't know.
himself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Mhm.
So, woodworking. Do you like woodworking?
Oh God, no. Although Nagano is a place for it.
I
There's a
don't. I don't think I've ever really done anything that be considered woodworking unless you consider it when I've fixed things. I don't know.
I've I was in the Boy Scouts. We did we actually we build large wooden towers and stuff. So I've done that. As far as like
That's right. Didn't you build a
working the wood.
bridge?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah, I
built a
guess
bridge, but
woodwork.
that's not really that's more like you said, it's construction, not woodwork.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I guess the most I've done is taking a pocket knife to like a piece of wood to make something sharp and then murder somebody with it. So
Uh,
yeah,
well,
that might be
did you stain it first?
with blood. Yeah,
Okay, that
I
counts.
stained anything? I don't know.
It's cherry wood then.
Yeah, where I am in Nagano though, woodworking is a big thing. That's why they make a bunch of guitars in Matsumoto because the woodworkers were like they were drafted to start making guitars. They weren't guitar makers; they were woodworkers. But they're like, oh, we can work that out.
So, anyway, this wasn't your first time watching this episode.
It's been a long time since I've seen him before, though. I didn't like remember.
Do you remember the
Honestly,
twist?
I think I mixed this up with a different episode that spends a notable amount of time off the island. Whereas actually, this one in the end doesn't spend any time off the island, does it? They just bounce him
Nope.
around in a box for a day or so.
I did really, really like the fact that they kind of kept cutting between them opening the box and them being in the box. Like it was misdirecting me to think that, oh, it's going to be like they open a different box and they're somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But then they actually were in the room with the British guys. And then the the one guy, what was he, Colonel F, Colonel J? I
I
should have kept that. I should have kept those notes up.
yeah. Oops.
Whoops.
So were
Colonel
the
J, I got it right.
okay?
Just edit that out.
Were the no were the external were the external shots just like in his imagination then? Or did they
I
kind of like drive
Yeah.
around the Polish countryside or Lithuanian countryside for a little while, or what? Did they take
I
him
think
out
it
of the
was
village?
I don't think they ever showed an actual shot of like London, did they?
They showed they showed the delivery truck driving on a country lane.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
was
what I'm like.
the
Was that
village. Well, I think it was implied that the whole thing was a misdirect. Like they're not necessarily anywhere near Poland or Lithuania or
oh yeah,
whatever.
that's a good point. Yeah, I guess that when does she give that information? That's after her capture?
I Yes, I think so because she gets captured pretty early, right? Like they don't really talk a whole lot until after she gets captured, which
Yeah.
again, he really needs to work on that. But uh,
So
so
I
yeah,
guess she
basically,
probably got mind twonked at that point. As I said, it doesn't really matter in the end, does it? So
so
she's
I was like close to not being able to handle the British guy yelling at him for a really long time. I was like, oh God, why? He was just being gaslit, but it's like his his old his old British friend was just gaslighting him relentlessly to make him tell him why he quit, which
yeah.
I'm starting to really wonder why that matters that much.
Oh, maybe we'll get to that later or not. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe I do know. You don't know what I know.
I don't know what you know. You're just like a mystery, like number six.
A mystery man. Although it is kind of like, he thought they'd hire him again, but they won't. He's finished at that job.
It's true. He is finished at that job. He definitely will not work for those people again.
Bridge has been burned if it wasn't before. Well,
Like,
in the
imagine you're at your new job and then you're put into a box and then allegedly rescued, and then you show up in a room with like your old boss,
and then
and
he
they're
just
like
starts
yelling
screaming
at
at
you,
you.
but he doesn't believe that you were abducted, and then he asks you something, and then you find out that he was actually working for the people who abducted you. Yeah, you'd probably never work for that guy again.
To be fair, as we've seen every week in the intro, that Patrick McGoon was yelling at him last time,
That is true.
so
I
he
mean,
kind of deserves it.
I'm gonna say that Patrick McGowan is a yeller.
Mm. A yeller or a shouter? I guess a yeller. What's the difference between yelling and shouting?
I don't think there is a difference. I think shouting is like you could shout like across a field to get relay something to somebody, and yelling is more like you're in a room with them and you're like, "What kind of coffee is this?"
Mm. Okay.
Like that's yelling.
What if I'm gonna holla?
I think that's like that can mean a few things, but usually it means that you are propositioning someone
Really? Okay. I
via
just thought
text.
what?
Holla at your boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not that's just like say hi.
Okay. See, I thought that the hollering though was actually yelling or shouting. I'm not quite sure which.
I think that would be like drunk. It could that one could mean a few things.
That's drunken noise. Is that what you're saying?
Drunk and hooting and hollering. That's when it's
There.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Hooting
Hooting
and
and
hollering.
hollering.
Yeah, I think we worked out that mystery. Good for us.
So anyway, did you know that Big Ben is the clock but not the tower? That's it.
um,
Trivia's over. Thanks.
okay. I know. Honestly, I've never thought about if Big Ben was the clock or the tower. So now I know. So
Or do you think that she was talking about something else when she kept calling him Big Ben?
yeah, I don't know. Big Ben's her dealer, maybe. Yeah, you
or
get some
Big
get some
Big Bill.
skag from Big Ben. It's kind of like a Peter Rabbit, right? I was like joking. I was trying to like see if my junior high students would notice. So I just started calling him Peter the Rabbit. And then
Did they notice?
no, I don't think so. And then later, my coworkers, they're like, Peter the Rabbit. That sounds like a Russian gangster. So Peter the
It kind
Rabbit.
of does, actually.
I
Very
know.
astute.
Yeah. I thought that's why I'm bringing it up. That's a good point. um, I think we've already done some hollering about it, but what exactly is the mind game in this episode? I mean, you mentioned that
Inner
maybe he should
something
stop
about
trusting MK victims, MK Ultra
that's.
victims, but
I mean, that's the real one, but there's also just, I guess, don't. It's kind of tricky. I mean, didn't really follow like a romantic plot, but I feel like maybe it was supposed to mimic a romantic plot. So maybe it's like don't trust a dame. I hope
I,
it's not like don't trust a foreigner, which it might be. Don't trust a foreigner. Yeah, I mean maybe now there would be more of that, but since there's a Brexit,
yeah, well, in this one, he kind of like he's kind of going with the flow more, like, haha, you can't get me this time. But they do come the closest to actually getting the answer in this one so far, don't they? He's like in mid sentence when he figures it out.
you mean what do you mean the answer is in he comes closest to figuring? Oh, they come closest to breaking him. Well, yeah,
And he's very
but yeah,
casual
but
about it.
it
Like,
was just it was a different balance, but I can't help but think of it as the second episode because it aired second. So I think that's
yeah.
kind of poisoned my mind because I'm thinking like, what if this was there's such a nice symmetry of the second number two is also the last number two.
Well, I guess you're like a BBC executive in the 60s then.
Oh no. Am I? Oh, is that why? Oh no.
That's
You're
obviously
right.
your mindset.
There's
Though
symmetry. You don't understand.
I did like though that
Ring
the
theory.
one
Sorry.
yeah, the first half of the episode was almost like number six seeing his own experience, right? So, like you said, that's kind of cool. It's all like it's almost fitting that I started accidentally watching in the middle of the first episode again. Like it kind of works for this episode, you know? Like because I saw you don't see the hospital this time, but I again I was like reminded of the how whack that hospital is, you know?
Yeah, and how many contests at this point has number six won? He won an election.
Mm-hmm.
Did he win something? He won a chess game. He won an election.
He's a
He won the
winner.
art show.
He's a winner.
I feel like this is a participation trophy situation. Like it's not going to work on him. Like you can't like the thing to do with number six is to give him the tournament over and over, and then keep putting him at like second place behind someone who's clearly better at the thing than him.
It's like the George Carlin joke where he has the idea of I think people in the Miss America pageant should have to keep competing until they win. Says it'll
It
get
should be
really
like the
says it'll
what do
get
you
really creepy after 35 years or so.
or like what do you call it when it's like you do the tournament until there's nobody left? It's like
Battle Royale.
yeah, it's yeah, battle royale beauty pageant. Let's make that happen.
Will the winner be beautiful by that point?
No, I mean it has to play out over like a week.
Oh, it's not
He
like a
has to
giant
just keep
cat
going.
fight. So like
Like
it's a Hunger Game. They call them Hunger Games, Mark.
yeah, then the last one is like will feel really bad.
I never saw the
It'll
Hunger
come down to
Games.
two people.
I saw the
Me
first
neither.
half of the first one, and then when they left the city, it got really boring, and I stopped watching.
I mean, isn't it just battle royale? Like battle royale rules. I don't want to see anything that's like if I want to watch battle royale, I'm gonna watch battle royale.
I wanted to see the trippy future city, and after that, I was done. Even though I was only like 40 minutes in.
I mean, you could see Drippy Future City, or you could see like a brutal Japanese t- gym teacher or whatever. I choose the latter.
Anyway, this is more of the participation trophy. Of course, you want to make You want to keep number 6 happy because he's not, or try and make him happy. Maybe that's the thing. They're trying
It's
to force him to be happy.
I think it's this thing where they are trying to patronize him, which will just keep throwing him off guard.
Right. Yeah, to
You
a
know,
certain
like he
extent.
knows what's going on. He knows exactly what's going on. Like they're not I don't think they're really blowing his mind by making an art show where everyone is drawing number 2, even though number 2 won't even be here next week.
Yeah, but he'll be back eventually. So the art lasts.
Do you see this art in other episodes?
No, you see that number 2 in another episode, but everyone's like, "Oh, he's back," and I already have his commemorative poster, so
Hmm.
that's covered. They don't have to get another one. They've already got it.
Hmm.
Would you put
Interesting
would you
theory.
would you put number 2 art up in your house?
Yeah, actually, I totally would put number 2 art in my house. But maybe I just like commission a painting that's like the Last Supper, but it's just all the number 2s at a table.
Ooh, that's a good idea too. I don't even have the talent to do that one, so
I don't even have the money to commission it. So
oh well. There's
somebody, listeners, there you go, free idea.
free ideas all day here. Yeah. But I guess that's the thing. You keep giving him like little responsibilities, and you're hoping he'll eventually take ownership of the thing and be like, "It's my village." Haha.
Yeah, it seems clearly like a what do you call it? Alternative education thing. Like someone, it's like someone. Did you ever see the show Oz?
No.
Well,
I
it
mean,
was
I
like
know
this
of it.
maximum security prison thing, and then one of the main characters is this guy who just believes in rehabbing the prisoners, and he's always trying to like give them more freedom and whatever. And it like basically doesn't. It's not framed like this is a complete failure, but like there is a lot of killing in that show, and like somebody blows up the cafeteria and they find someone's skeleton that was in the wall. You know, it's like hilariously tragic.
See, I stopped watching Prison Break with season 3. Like that's where like the I'm not.
Uh,
I mean, it's not whatever. It's Prison Break, but
I didn't
um,
see it at all.
that's when they're in like the Guatemalan prison, right? And I'm like, this isn't realistic. It's got the inmates running everything. The guards are only like on the outside or whatever, right?
Doesn't it
I'm
have
like,
those two guys who are in the Flash who are like the only good thing about the Flash?
yes.
Okay.
I like the first season of Flash, but then they just kept doing
Yeah.
the first season again and again, and now
The
they've done it 8 times.
the third season made me so angry that I almost just stopped when they killed his girlfriend just to try and believe that she was gonna stay dead.
Spoilers.
She doesn't stay dead. Wow, they didn't kill the Flash's girlfriend and keep her dead forever.
I think
Shock.
they
You know,
do it.
spoiler. Here's a spoiler. It's always a speedster and shit sucks after season 3. So 2.
No way.
Don't
No,
watch past season 2.
no, I stopped in the middle of season 3 on that one.
Good move.
I think in the comics his wife stays dead or something.
Comics are like, but I mean, comics also would just bring her back with God particles or whatever.
Okay, yeah, it's comics. You do that. Um,
Yeah. There's also been like 8 flashes in the comics, I think.
Prison Break. Oh, I was just gonna say, it turns out that prisons are that like wild in Central America sometimes. So it wasn't completely unrealistic.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
you're
it's high.
saying are you saying I should watch Prison Break and it's better than The Flash?
Oh no, Flash is better in Prison Break.
Ooh.
Season 1 of the Flash is better in Prison Break. I don't know.
Okay.
You know what? I went.
I the
I haven't seen Oz because I went through like 10 years, like where I'm just like I can't be bothered to like commit to a TV show. Then they started putting out Star Trek again. So
it's really kind of a thing where there's a whole HBO thing that I think it's just like they make the most brutal shows with likable characters in them. I mean, Euphoria it is like my favorite show in years, and that basically is like Oz in high school. There's just, I mean, there's just dicks everywhere, and it's like drugs everywhere, and people screaming at each other while they're crying, and
I mean, I
you
still
know,
haven't seen past season 1 of Breaking Bad, and the Blu-ray set's like right
wow,
there.
that was like the show that got me watching television again after years of just ignoring television.
Well, when I get I have the ability to easily watch Breaking Bad, but I haven't gotten around to it. That's just
I
how it works, right? It's a commitment. It's like what, 5
yeah,
seasons, and then after that, I probably have to go watch Better Call Saul, another commitment, also 5 seasons now. I think.
and maybe you should watch that first. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because
Anyway,
bunch of stuff that they do in Better Call Saul where they do weird foreshadowing that just seemed like, oh, whatever. You won't know if anybody dies if you watch Better Call Saul for the most part.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Anyway,
Yeah,
maybe I'll do that.
you could be one of the few people who did that.
I have the option of doing that. So, although I have seen season 1 of Breaking Bad, but
It's
then
it never to me the whole thing is good.
no, I'm sure. Although that is
To me
again
a
with the
whole other
prisoner,
thing.
that's the nice thing about the prisoner. It's like nice and encapsulated. It's like here it is. That's it. There's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a bit of a commitment, and that's it, right? So,
Well, yeah, the thing is, I don't know if it was really a thing before that, but when Breaking Bad came out, the fact that it lasted 6 seasons and the episodes, I think the seasons were like 8 episodes long, they were shorter than what I was used to. Although that might be because I just spent like 10 years not watching TV. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's weird how America eventually adopted the British model.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
going back and
6
watching Deep
episode
Space
series.
Nine and being like, "Oh my god!" It's like I really enjoyed it, but
Why
the
is there so
sheer
much?
26 episodes of 44 minutes each over the course of 7 seasons or whatever it is, just like it makes you kind of like a little bit angry when there's a bad episode, like
um,
the
yeah,
what the that one episode that's bad.
I
Profit and
guess that's
Lace.
a. Oh, I was about to say it was a Ferengi episode.
Yeah,
And
I mean
then
they're
yes,
good
that
Ferengi
that
episodes, but
yeah, there are a couple. The Magnificent Ferengi is a good one, but yeah, Prophet and Lice
that's
is particularly awful.
arguably the Magnificent Ferengi might be the best episode of the series. I
Good
I
Ferengi episode.
it is
Yay!
that is an argument that could be made. And anyway,
Definitely a paper moon. This episode of The Prisoner. I guess we're finished on that because now we're talking
I
about the
don't
Flash and Deep Space
I
Nine. But
I don't think this is the best episode of The Prisoner, but it was really fun.
yeah, I don't know this one. Yeah, as we're recording these, it's been a while since I watched the last episode, right? So, I don't
Mm.
know. I was kind of grooving on it this time, maybe because we took a few weeks off from watching it, so it's a little fresh again, maybe.
That helps.
Yeah. So maybe week to week's not the best thing with the show. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should just wait a few months before we do the next one.
Oh yeah. So we're timeless. We don't I don't even know when this is airing, but you can find this and other
Huh.
podcasts at Podcastio Podcastius. We talk about sci-fi films, The Twilight Zone. Some other folks talk about Pokemon and Monster Hunter. You can find us there, I'm sure. Um Mark, you're on some of those podcasts. I don't even know what else you want
Indeed.
to plug. I guess you
You can you can find me on episode 13 of Game Show, I think it is. Maybe 13.
It's somewhere in there. Number lucky 13.
Um
That's why you won.
yes, sure I won.
It's golf scoring.
You can find me at stunrunner.bandcamp.com for electro clash synth punk type stuff.
Okay. Hey everyone, thank you for listening today to Time Enough Podcast because that's where you are.
Wait, you said Time Enough Podcast.
Yeah, I was trying to blow your mind like you thought you were in one podcast, but you're really like in a different one.
It is different, isn't it? What kind of imbecile do you think I am?
Okay, and screaming is always a good way to end.
Nah!
You gotta do
God. I almost missed that actually.
I know
I almost missed it.
What you're thinking about.
Oh, wait a minute. So so like the show I work on has been canceled apparently.
Oh, what show is that?
I don't even know what it's going to be called.
Oh, the show Mark works on.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're going to put this on the Patreon, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know what. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about it except that it's canceled.
Okay.
Before it's finished.
Right. Well.
Anyway.
Do they get to finish it? What does that mean?
I hope so.
Like
I mean, just finish the damn thing.
Yeah,
it could
like
be they're Batgirling it.
Yeah, you're not.
You think they're Batgirling it?
That's what I'm asking.
Maybe they're gonna Batgirl it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if it's there, use it, right? Unless Batgirl is just like so crap, they're like, okay, someone scuttle this, please.
I don't know.
Catwoman didn't go so well.
I feel like I want to say that Batgirl can't be so bad that they couldn't have just put it somewhere, but I can't say that authoritatively. Maybe it is. I just
Although
don't
if it's that bad, I definitely want to see it.
exactly. But my 100% what I believe is that, there's all these rumors that the guy's gutting the streaming service to sell it to Universal, and
Wow.
that I absolutely think that he's like, well, this thing is like not worth a whole lot, so I'll take it off, and then when Universal buys it, they'll have all this hype. He's just building a bunch of hype for stuff that Universal could just be like, okay, here is Batgirl. And
Hype
then people are gonna
man.
be like, people will be so excited because they could say like, actually, Batgirl is bad or not. No,
Yeah. And anyway, I don't even know how streaming services. I don't know that stuff. So
it's just a huge bubble that is going to burst or
right.
slowly deflate.
Yeah.
I think it's slowly deflating. I think that's what's actually happening.
Maybe. Yeah.
Mm.
So peak TV has peaked, I guess. I don't know.
It should. As someone who works, unfortunately, I don't say unfortunately. Unfortunately, I think it probably should. Like when we get off this call, I'm probably gonna go watch Andor, not Endor, Andor.
That I think that's actually correct. Yes. I
Well,
don't think I care.
the
Do I
guy
care?
promised the guy promised there would be no fan service, so I'm gonna give it a shot. If
Tell me a reason that what's the hook?
there's no fan service in it, that is the hook.
That's not I mean a little bit's fine. I don't care. That's not a hook for me.
I hate it so much at this point. Like if I watch some shit and then like Chewbacca shows up, it's like Earth, and we're like, fuck you, dude. Stop it. I don't care anymore. Just tell your own story.
How about
Uh,
lower decks?
I love lower
They fan
I
service a lot.
I love lower decks, but it this season feels like a little off to me. Like it's like maybe a little bit soft.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Are you kind of feeling like that?
Well, the most recent one was certainly like a romp, right? There were no stakes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that they dump a bunch of fan service really quickly, and I get a lot of it.
Mm.
So it's not like I don't feel like there's, and I feel like most of it's funny. Like, what was it? Like the Tom Paris collectible plate kept coming up or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
It's just stuff like that.
historic Bozeman's fantastic. I want to visit there.
Yeah. Stuff. Yeah. Lots of stuff like that. They're like, if fan service is funny and then
Bat
quick,
lists and what was it? Something
Batless, and yeah, I know what you're
and
talking
something
about. I
else
can't remember.
Klingon. Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing is just but when fan service is like Luke Skywalker shows up and it's obvious it's going to be Luke Skywalker and everything's real slow and the music swells.
Yeah, I
And
get what
that
you're
was
saying. That didn't bug me
garbage,
too
and
much, but
everyone said that was the best episode. I'm like, shut up, it's terrible.
no, I
Like
wouldn't call it the
you
best
have
episode.
like you literally have a scene where Giancarlo Esposito is like slashing this dude with a dark saber, and I'm like, you're telling me that you should have just made that the entire episode. Like it should have just been Giancarlo Esposito like,
Dirty
yeah,
finish,
that
yeah.
yeah, that was the best. That was by far the best thing. And not only that, but since Luke Skywalker comes back in the dumb Boba Fett series, which is mostly bad,
I
it's like
didn't see that.
all of his dialogue is like it like mimics the worst George Lucas dialogue. He's always
Then
like,
it's authentic.
"No, you don't understand." Yeah, it's just and when
No,
he's
you don't
saying
understand. I am the one that is Jedi now.
and he's telling Grogu or whatever that like you can't be attached. It's like he's telling him that you can't be attached or it'll mess everything up right after we saw a whole bunch of movies where it was sort of disproven and it was proven the Jedi were all jerks and nobody,
So
it's
basically,
like
I don't need to watch that show. It's fine that I didn't watch it.
it's honestly it's like you can watch them in real time regretting that they made it and just turning it into the Mandalorian season 2.5. I'm not
Okay.
kidding. That's
Right.
exactly what happens. The end of it was cool because they turned it into the Mandalorian 2.5.
Oh, okay.
That is exactly what happened. You can watch the last 4 episodes of it. I don't understand what Boba Fett was supposed to be. He was like evil or good or something.
He's just a dude in a suit.
But he
Okay.
also is the leader. But yeah, you probably got to go.
Yeah, I gotta go take a shower and run off. So I will catch you in the laters.
Cool.
Sometime next week I could probably do something. If you want, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do.
let's do it.
I'm gonna. To your Tuesday is already taken up. I got that, and then I'm gonna organize one to do Peter
Mhm.
Pan, but I don't know what night that is yet. So the other nights are still open. You can get back to
Okay,
me. You don't have to let me know.
yeah, I'll get back to you, but my work schedule's gonna lighten up pretty soon. So
Okay, when that happens, that is that next week or
I
October?
don't know, dude. It was
Okay,
supposed to be like October 11th, but it seems like apparently when they cancel a show, everybody's like, well, I don't know. They might just throw all of us out and lock the doors. I don't know.
okay,
Could be next week. I don't know. But
okay. I'll
uh,
catch you later then. So,
go in.
so.